Hello Star Seekers, thank you for joining me in this video. Today we will be discussing the new moon in Aries on March 21st, around that time, depending on where you are in the world. And this is also the spring equinox. The sun moves into Aries, the moon moves into Aries, and there's a few other planets there, and they are making aspects with some other planets. So stay with me as we discuss the potentials of the new moon in Aries for you. Now, my usual disclaimer about which sign you should be watching. In order to know where this energy will be affecting you, you need to know which houses these particular signs fall into, specifically Aries for this new moon. Which house Aries falls into is determined by your rising sign, not your sun sign. Horoscopes are determined through rising signs. Your sun sign is very important when you're learning about your personality and how you shine in the world and where you show off. But when we're talking about predictive horoscopes, it is your rising sign that we are looking at in order to determine which house a sign falls into and therefore which area of life this energy will be felt in. So, with that said, let's get into this. Hello Pisces Rising. Thank you for joining me. Let's get right into this. So when we have a new moon, we have the sun and the moon together in the same sign. So in your case, it is your second house. Aries is your second house. Along with the sun and the moon, we also have Mercury and Jupiter joining in this party in your second house. Now, what does this mean specifically for you, Pisces Rising? Well, your second house is the house of values, the house of your finances, your possessions, and your resources. They can bring a strong desire for financial security and independence. This placement can also indicate success in business ventures, especially new ones with this new moon, and those that require quick thinking and your initiative, your brain power. However, be aware that there could be a tendency towards impulsive spending with all of this energy here and a lack of consideration for your long-term financial goals. You need to think about those long-term financial goals, Pisces. Now, right next door in Taurus, we have Uranus, or the Fool. Uranus has been there for a few years, causing a lot of unexpected changes to your communication, your mindset, your thought processing, and siblings. But just a few days ago, Venus moved into Taurus, and Venus is the ruler of Taurus. So Venus is at home when in Taurus and feeling happy and harmonious. Uranus will be there till 2025 doing its thing. Venus moves on next month. But right now, during this new moon, what this means is this is bringing a heightened sense of appreciation, and with Venus here, and it's an appreciation for beauty, creativity, and aesthetics in communication and learning. This can indicate a desire for harmonious and pleasant conversations, especially with siblings or neighbors. Now, Uranus here, this has been bringing unexpected and sudden changes in your communication and learning and in your relationships with your siblings or neighbors or cousins. This placement can indicate a fascination with innovation or unconventional ideas, especially related to communication and technology. Now, when Venus and Uranus are together here in Taurus, this is bringing a combination of both the stabilizing and harmonizing influence of Venus and the unpredictable and innovative influence of Uranus in the areas of communication, learning, and relationships, especially with siblings, cousins, anybody on that generational tier, not parents or children, but siblings, cousins, really close friends, or your neighbors. Now we have Saturn just moved into Pisces in your first house. Now, what does this mean for you as a Pisces rising? That's a lot of authoritarian, disciplinarian energy. And we also have the Hanged Man, who's been over here at home in Pisces for a little while. Now, Saturn will be moving on in 2025. 2025 is going to be a big year. There's going to be a lot of shifts of big outer planets in 2025. Let's see what else. Neptune also moves in 2025. March and May. So anyway, what this means right now with Saturn and Pisces, Saturn is bringing a sense of self-discipline and hard work along with self-reflection to your personality and your self-expression, your ability to show off who you are. This placement can indicate a need for boundaries and structure in your area of personal identity and self-expression. With Neptune here, this is bringing a heightened sensitivity and an intuitive connection to your self and your personal identity. This placement here can indicate a tendency towards idealism and confusion in your area of who you are and who you identify as. And you might need some clarity and discernment in this area. Now together, Saturn and Neptune in Pisces in your first house is bringing a mix of disciplined and intuitive energies to the area of personal identity and self-expression. This could manifest as a need for structure and boundaries in your self-expression, combined with the sensitivity and the intuitive energies, the connection to who you are and your personal identity. So there's a lot of sort of psychic, intuitive energy going on with who you identify as and how that affects how you make money and how you communicate who you are. Now that's the placements. We have some communication between these planets or aspects. The Sun and Moon in your second house over here is making a 90-degree angle to Mars. Mars is the tower. Mars is over here in Gemini. And Mars has been in Gemini, or which for you is your fourth house, since last year. And it will be there for a few more days. It's moving on March 25th finally, but until then, for right now, it's still in your fifth house, or your fourth house, the house of home, family, private life, your past, your roots, your foundation. So what this means is this square between the second house and the fourth house is indicating a strong sense of self-worth and desire for material stability with a focus on personal finances and resources. Mars over here in Gemini has been indicating a strong desire for intellectual stimulation as well as emotional security within your home and family environment. Now the square aspect between the two of them, or the challenge, this is creating tension and conflict between your desire for personal independence and your financial stability and your need for emotional stability and security within your home or within your family environment. And this could potentially lead to impulsive or rash actions that can cause tension within personal relationships or lead to financial instability. So be very cautious when dealing with home and family and money issues, and know that there's a conflict there between your desire to just be who you are independently and your responsibilities within home and family. Now that Sun and Moon in that second house are making a few other aspects. This time they're conjunct with Neptune. Neptune's just at the tail end of Pisces, and Sun and Moon are just in the very beginning. So this is potentially creating a unique and imaginative approach to your self-worth and to your material possessions. This Neptune influence is indicating a strong desire for you have financial independence and an intuitive understanding of the value of your resources. Be aware that this can also bring challenges related to discerning what is real versus fantasy when it comes to your financial matters. And there's a tendency towards impulsivity and spending or investing without thinking it all the way through, and without having the full clarity necessary for that type of decision, because all this Neptunian energy coming in here with this conjunction is making it a little too watery, a little too cloudy. You can't really get the full picture. So be aware of not making impulsive decisions. Now, again, the Sun Moon over here is also making a 60-degree angle to Pluto. Pluto is judgment. Pluto has been over here in Capricorn in your 11th house for a number of years, since 2008, really causing some upheavals and shaking things up within your community and within groups and organizations that you belong to, or you as a person within a whole community setting. And that's about to move on. Just a few days after this new moon, Pluto will be moving into Aquarius, which is a big, big deal, big energy shifts. But during the new moon, it is still in Capricorn in your 10th house if you use whole house systems. Now this is making a 60-degree angle to the sun and the moon over here in your 2nd house. And what that means is this can potentially create a powerful and transformative energy for financial gain as well as social influence. This placement can indicate a deep desire for material security and the ability to harness your personal power to achieve your financial goals and your social goals. Now, be aware of a tendency towards selfishness and manipulation in these areas if your energy is not channeled constructively. Okay, this Pluto and Venus are also in an aspect. They're in a square, a 90-degree angle. This could bring a tendency to hold on to fixed beliefs and to resist change. This could bring potential conflicts with friends and with acquaintances, especially those who have different perspectives than you do. There might be power struggles within your group settings, within your organizations, and you have an intense desire to assert your authority within these groups or organizations or community that you find yourself in. Now, financial issues can arise, particularly from joint resources or shared assets. So be very careful with negotiations and communications to avoid any tension when dealing with money that involves groups. Okay, now Mars over here in your 4th house, your house of home, family, and private life. This is making a trine to Saturn in your 1st house. Trines are lucky aspects. They are good, positive, beneficial. What this is doing is bringing this Saturnian disciplined and strategic approach to your home life as well as your personal identity, with a focus on practical and intellectual pursuits that will support your overall goals here. Now, this aspect suggests a potential ability to use your mental energy and your focus to create a stable home and secure home environment. This is also allowing you to express yourself confidently and authentically. It's important for you to be aware of potential tendencies towards defensiveness and conflicts with your family members or people within your domestic sphere. This could impede your progress and success in these areas that you are trying to achieve. Okay, now Mars is also making a square to Neptune in your 1st house, and this is suggesting that you might be highly sensitive and intuitive at this time, and there's also a potential here for a hidden talent with your creative expression or in the arts or some sort of dramatic situation. Now, this alignment can also indicate a tendency towards confusion or idealization within your family or your home life. The square aspect between Neptune and Mars presents challenges in setting up boundaries or asserting yourself in relationships and in your domestic matters. So this is going to require a very conscious effort from you to cultivate clarity and practicality in your home life and in who you are as an individual, how you show up in the world, and how you support yourself. Okay, Pisces Rising, that's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching. Please let me know in the comments if there's anything that resonated with you or if you'd like to hear more about something. Give me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.